Well, on to the big story that we're tracking. The winter session of Parliament is unlikely to take place this year. It's rare not to have a winter session, but with the ongoing situation with the COVID-19 pandemic, the government is highly unlikely to summon Parliament for its customary winter session. This is what we are learning from our sources. We will be joined by Sunil Prabhu in just a bit, but the big story, of course, that is coming in is that it's highly unlikely that India will see a winter session of the Parliament. Parliament, however, is expected to be convened in the last week of January, this ahead of the budget on the 1st of February. But during the delayed monsoon session, remember, in September, Parliament had to be adjourned ahead of its early schedule after many MPs contracted the COVID-19 despite all of the precautionary measures that were put in place. Sunil Prabhu now joins us with the very latest. Sunil, unlikely to have a winter session this year. Many parliamentarians say that it's unwise.
That's right. Given the present pandemic situation, and as you're well aware, the last time round when the monsoon session of Parliament was conducted, there were many members of Parliament who had turned positive. We also lost a Minister of State for Railways at that time who was unwell, who would come back for Parliament session. And it's in that context now that top ministers have told NDTV that a winter session is unlikely. It is unwise at this present juncture, and there is no urgency. And it's in that context that they will wait for the budget session of Parliament, where the budget is presented on the 1st of February.
Right.
So in the last week of December, we can expect Parliament to be convened.
All right. So, but do we have a confirmation yet, Sunil, or is this still a decision that the government is mulling over?
See, I mean, it is left for government, if there is an urgent matter, that they can always convene Parliament at a short notice. So there is nothing that stops them. But as of now, the thinking within the government, and these are top ministers who have confided, who don't want to be named, have said very categorically that there will be no winter session of Parliament. They will only meet to convene the parliamentary committee of Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs will meet to request the President to summon both houses of Parliament when they decide on a date. As of now, that seems unlikely.
And it's rare, of course, Sunil, that a winter session isn't summoned by the government. But given the current situation, and as you were elaborating on, what happened in the monsoon session, most MPs cutting across party lines at the moment believe that this is perhaps the best decision to take preventive measures.
That's right. I think the last was there was no winter session during the 77 to in the year 78, 79, again in 1984. But those were incidents where there were, general elections that were taking place. There was Indira Gandhi's assassination. It's rare, very, very rare that we see that winter session of Parliament. Parliament usually meets thrice. And this, of course, being an occasion for Parliament not to be convened, given the present context. Also, as you're well aware, during the 2008, after the session during that time, there wasn't a winter session. So it's in that context now that the government has decided to not hold this winter session of Parliament. This is, of course, as you're well aware, a pandemic situation, and members cutting across party lines unofficially saying that they do not want to hold Parliament. But the others, like Mr. Manik Thakur, who's also a General Secretary in charge of Telangana from the Congress Party, who's saying, I don't have MP lads funds. What am I to do as an MP? I need Parliament to function. But I think the decision, more or less, has been taken not to convene a winter session of Parliament.